Hey Blazers, this episode is brought to you by Audible.com and the Amazon Company. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Blaze Entertainment.
Or visit the sponsor and supporters links on our website at intotheblaze.com. With over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now let's start the show.
And her goal is not in her. She's a diamond under her. Wanna lay it down, I'll try my heart. Don't I know gold is not in her.
What's going on, Blazers? We're back with another episode of Blaze Entertainment Spotlight Edition. I'm your host, Kwame, joined by the beautiful, the melanin proficient, the queen of Blaze, Miss Free. What's up, girl?
You know, not much. Per usual.
Per usual. We have a very special guest on the show today. We have been trying to get him on the show forever. So it is nice to have him on the show. And he is the the host and co-founder of Podcast Discovery Center, as well as the host of Me, Myself, and I Radio. And if you guys have not heard it, I definitely highly recommend the show, especially if you are looking for mental health and wellness. It's a great show to listen to. It's gotten me through some tough days myself. And so without further ado, Mr. Anthony Hayes. What's up, brother?
Hey, Kwame. What's up, man? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Miss Free, how are you?
You know, tired.
Yeah, I know it's been a long day for everybody, so it seems. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, I'm happy to be here finally. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time out. You know, your busy schedule. We know you're on celebrity status, so.
Oh, stop.
So
no, you know, my problem is I juggle too many things. That's my problem.
You need a secretary.
Right?
Yeah, we finally I don't think me and Miss Free would like know what to do on a daily basis without Marisol. So like yeah, she is.
I know. Isn't that fantastic?
She
I would like one day I hope to like be able to do that, like get to that level where I can, you know, once I'm kind of doing this more full-time and really putting a lot more time and effort into, you know, podcasts and writing and stuff, and be able to invest back into it, like that would be great, you know, get some help outsourcing and stuff.
Yeah, it is definitely helped a lot.
Yes.
Because I don't think like we would have like been able to do what we're doing now without her. Because like
she's on it.
Yeah, she really is. Like she like today I almost forgot about the interview and also another recording that I had to do beforehand. And she was like, "Hey, did you confirm with Mr. Hayes?" So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now."
Shout out goes to Marisol.
Yeah, shout out to Marisol.
Yeah,
but yes.
What's up, Marisol?
But yes, about you, sir. Tell us a little bit about what you do, why you do it, and yeah.
I do a little bit of everything, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm kind of like try anything once sort of guy, and I you know, like you said, Kwame, I'm a podcaster. I started podcasting 3 years ago, actually, and I host Me, Myself, and I Radio, and I'm also a published author. I have my book, The Science of Being, that's out. And I do quite a bit of blogging. Not really so much right now, but I have quite a bit over the years. And I'm also a father, so that's my like second full-time job. And then on top of that, I also work a regular 40-hour week, or some weeks like 50. And it's kind of nuts. And yeah, man, I live in Virginia with my fiance, and yeah, man, I'm just loving it. The autumn leaves are dropping. It's just beautiful. Life is beautiful right now. You know, we all have our struggles and everything like that, but you know, we're here together today, so that's all that matters. I appreciate you guys.
Yes. Look at the positivity. That's what I'm talking about.
I wish we had some autumn leaves out here. We don't get autumn. We have summer and winter. That's it.
No, we have summer and cold days. There's no winter
Yeah.
in California.
This is literally my first look at seasons in 20 years, because I lived in Florida for 20 years and there's absolutely no season change there. So being in Virginia, it's a nice happy medium between the north and the south, and we just moved here, so we're really looking forward to the journey.
Now, you said you're originally from Florida, you said?
Yeah, I lived there for 20 years.
So I hope your family is like, because I know that, Florida just had, some hurricanes and or a hurricane rather. And I hope your family is good.
Oh yeah, everybody's great. The funny part about this, I just moved up here like right before that happened. So I don't know if you call it fate or divine intervention or what, but yeah, putting up hurricane shutters sucks, man. Those things are so damn sharp. It's like an aluminum piece of metal. They're heavy. I mean, I don't look forward, or I don't, I feel bad for people that have to do that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about why you started Me, Myself, and I Radio.
Well, I kind of like I stumbled upon this whole podcasting thing by accident. I was actually listening to podcasts, and at first I was listening through the Spreaker application. It's an amazing hosting company, and I kind of realized that they had a mobile recording unit, and anybody could podcast. Like, I thought I was listening to people and they were in a studio, and they had their mics on booms and their producers, and so that was my take on what podcasting was. But then when I learned anybody can do it, I was kind of like, okay, let me hit this record button and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that was one day, just me sitting at my kitchen table, and here we are 3 years later. I go speak at conferences, and we have the podcast group. So it's been quite the epic journey,
yes,
to say the least. But the show, it's just really been an evolution, because like I said, I started, didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really have a direction. I was trying to mold the show into something, or I wanted it to be something, but I didn't know quite what. And it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago I came up with this idea of emotional technology, right? Because I'm a nerd about self-development and mental health and things. So this is like my coming out, to the world. Like Me, Myself, and I Radio, it's very schizophrenic, and that was the point of the name, to kind of have that ability to talk about mental health and depression and things that I know firsthand, right? And but this new shift I'm going in, this new evolution of the show, and calling it emotional technology, which I'm about to relaunch the show with that title. It's just like, it's just one of those things, that stigma that I used to be afraid to talk about, but I don't really care anymore.
Yeah. I love that.
There's nothing to be ashamed about.
I love that, and I think that's important, because like a lot of people feel like when people are dealing with mental health issues or whatever, they don't want to, it's something that it's like you automatically have leprosy or something like that. You know what I mean? And I feel like you being brave enough to talk about those type of issues, and being open and honest about your own issues and things that you're working through, lets other people know that, oh, okay, well, maybe I can go and get help too, you know what I'm saying, or maybe I can follow these steps, and see if I can work through some of and develop some coping skills to deal with some of the issues that I'm dealing with. So kudos to you on that, and thank you for putting that out there, because it is much needed. Mental health is such an underrated issue that nobody's really looking at. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things in school that they never taught us, psychology. I mean, that is so important, just being able to identify these different emotions that we go through, and especially in our adolescent times, is like, like Kwame, like coming out and stuff like that. You had no preparation for that, but if we were taught from the get-go that it's okay and you're supported, you're loved, I think that the world would be a better place. But unfortunately, things go the way that they go, and instead they're teaching us trigonometry, and I don't even use that. I don't know what the point of that class was.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
So can you, I was listening to your podcast and you brought up like the 3 elements of me, myself, and I. Can you kind of explain that in more depth?
Yeah, definitely. The evolution of the show, and I wanted to be able to tell a story, right? So not only my own journey, but talking to my guests. So I came up with this concept of like me, myself, and I, right? So that in essence is our past, present, and future self, right? So me being all the shit we had to go through to get to today, right? Myself being the everyday person, the 9-to-5 guy, the father, and then the I element is everything that I want to be, everything that I've yet to become, or my guests, everything that they've yet to become, and setting up those goals and seeing where the future is going to bring us. So to be able to bring those 3 elements together, and that that completes the circle of oneself ultimately. That's the point.
Oh, okay. And is that something that you just kind of came up with yourself, or did someone inspire you with the 3 elements of an I?
It was a little bit of both. I did a lot of brainstorming with a really great friend of mine. His name is S032 Set, and
we know who he is.
Along the lines of
yeah, we know him.
So I would definitely have to say he helped me through a lot of questions and stuff when it came to my show and developing certain aspects of it. The concept overall was an internalization, and it had a lot to do with like my book that I wrote and a lot of the things that I cover there. So it was a combination of a lot of things, really.
Okay. Cool, right on.
Now, I also was looking at your website. Fabulous website, by the way. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, it cost me a lot of money.
as most websites do.
Because I get better, look nice.
Right?
Yeah, but I had to step up my game, though, because, doing the drag and drop and Wix and Squarespace, that stuff's all good, but if you want to get to the next level, if you want to really build your platform, you have to do it right.
Yeah.
So I just decided to make an investment in myself. So
right on, and it starts with you. It's like,
yes.
I noticed that you had a section on there called the Daddy Diaries. Now, I don't want to take away from that, so I'm going to let you just go ahead and explain what that is, because I have my own thoughts.
Oh God! What daddy are you talking about?
Right.
Anyway, oh man, yeah, I listen to you guys are wild, man. I love it. Anyway, and yeah, Daddy Diaries. So I became a father 3 years ago, right? So I was kind of in that weird space where I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to act? And just so many different questions and going through so many emotions. So I decided to write about it. So Daddy Diaries is like a blog. And I was kind of writing it throughout my experiences of fatherhood and, things that I was going through. And, I was hoping ultimately it could be a resource for other guys out there. I've got a lot of expanding on it to do, a lot of things to add, but that's ultimately what it was about raising my daughter Violet. So it was a really great outlet.
And Violet's adorable, by the way.
Yeah, she looks so cute. How old is she?
Thank you. Yeah, she's 3.
Oh, ladies.
Yeah, she's awesome and crazy.
And crazy.
Just like her mother. Shh, don't tell her I said that. She'll put a pillow over my head while I'm sleeping. No. I'm not joking. She's Puerto Rican.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, don't mess with us. Anyway, so you mentioned earlier that you have been podcasting for 3 years and that and it's funny because when I was on Scott Doucette's show, the Pirates Bay, we talked about like how podcasters kind of look down or frown upon podcasters that are kind of either what they deem as brand new, and kind of doing really amazing things like getting high numbers and, you know, doing all these different things. So my question to you is with you only podcasting for almost going on 4 years, do you feel that there is a prerequisite in terms of you know, someone who is going out there to either talk about podcasting, because you said you were at conferences, and I think you were just recently at a conference, correct? If I'm not mistaken, at a podcast conference.
Yeah, I was up in New Jersey last month, actually, Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference.
Yes. And so I guess my question to you is like, do you feel that there is a prerequisite for podcasters in order for them to be quote unquote intermediate level or advanced or whatever?
Your success at the end of the day, it all comes from the content, right? Mm-hmm. So nobody's going to want to listen to a show that they can't relate to,
right?
So whether you're in the business world, the entertainment world, you know, there's comedy podcasts, and then they niche down from there really significantly. And when I started out, I was like, I read up on it. I watched tutorials. I listened to other shows about podcasting and broadcasting, and I was like, no, I'm not going to niche down. I'm just going to do whatever I want, and you know, that'll be that. And as time went on, I realized you kind of have to have some kind of direction,
right? So
as I evolved the show, I use that word a lot. Don't think I'm goofy. It's just one of my words, because like we're evolving right now. This conversation is evolving,
right?
Yeah. So what was I saying? Yes. So yeah. So the direction of the show, I became more open with doing the show and making it what I wanted it to be, and what I was more comfortable talking about, and that's mental health and things, and I didn't want to come out directly and say it before. So being able to kind of tighten up, so to speak, and you know, really hone in on that one thing that you're good at, that one thing that you're knowledgeable, or that one thing you're passionate about. Mm-hmm. So whenever you're doing something in the business or the blogging world, a lot of stuff in social media, it's either you're knowledgeable about it or you're passionate. There's really no in between. So you kind of have to pick one of those routes in order to be successful. And I found doing that is when I saw the benefits pay off, the listener appreciation, the shout outs, the ratings and reviews, the numbers, and all that stuff came. But it was a gradual thing. It did not happen it wasn't an overnight success by any means.
Right on. And I think that that's important to hear, because like I think a lot of people think that, you know, especially podcasters that just come out and are like, you know, pretty successful really fast, that they don't see the work that goes behind it. And I think that they just think that they just put out content and call it a day. There's so much that goes into it, like editing, and then you have to look at, you know, the recording scheduling times and stuff like that. I've been really fortunate to have a very flexible, amazing, beautiful co-host, Miss Free, to kind of work really well with me in terms of, you know.
Thank you.
I know, right? I'm so jealous. I'm like, I sit there by myself. I'm so lonely. I can use her. Can I borrow her?
For a limited time only.
You know. Right.
I have to be selfish on Miss Free. I'm so sorry.
Do you pimp her out?
I don't pimp her out.
Oh, hell no.
She pimps me out, actually.
Really?
Did.
She does.
I'm the one who brought him on to podcasting.
This is true. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
She, we were actually one of our favorite shows called The Read. She introduced me to, and then we were laughing and joking because we worked together before. When this whole idea of doing a show came about, and we went on break one day, we were just laughing and joking with our friends, and I think I don't know if it was you that said it or somebody else that said it, I don't know if it was our homegirl Dakota that said it, that she was like, you guys should do a show, and then we kind of looked at each other, we're like, maybe we should.
Yeah.
And so it kind of grew from there. We were joking around at first about it, and then we kind of got serious and was like, hey, if we're going to do this, we should probably do it like right. So we did a whole, yeah. So the researching and all that stuff like ensued, and then we're now a year and a half later here. So, yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, having somebody strong like that to build you up and to split the workload with is that's great, and it shows, because you guys do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, enough about us, because everybody here, our Blazers hear about us all the time. We want to give you an opportunity to talk about where can people find you, where can people find Me, Myself, and I Radio, and your upcoming rebrand of your show, etc.
Yeah, well, I kind of make it really easy. Everything I do starts at memyselfandiradio.com.
Okay. From
there, you can access the show, and the show is going to stay in the same feed. So it's going to be, just right there. And the blogs, everything is right there on the next page. And then I have links to my book, and I've got some sexy pictures of myself that I got taken. I mean, it's the full package. I'm just saying.
Awesome. Well, yes, if you guys have any questions, concerns, or even want to learn more about Anthony Hayes, definitely go to memyselfandiradio.com. And you can also definitely check out, if you guys are podcasters out there, even if you are thinking about starting a show, definitely check out the Podcast Discovery Center. It's a phenomenal group. Lots of big name and really strong, successful podcasters are in there, sharing knowledge and just being awesome with each other. It's not one of those clickbait groups where you just drop a link and call it a day. It's definitely a good group to learn, to grow, to enhance your skills, to learn from podcasters who have kind of been there, done that, and it's free. So definitely check it out.
Free 99.
Yes. Anthony, thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us. We really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much, guys. I had a blast.
Yes, and we definitely need to have you on the show again. And we'll probably have you and Scott on the show one time. That'll be interesting.
And bring Violet too.
Time.
Yes. Bring Violet.
Oh man, that's gonna be a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
Good times. So, thank you guys so much for listening.
She has no idea the chats that we have.
Right.
Of us. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I want to know.
You need to show her that dialogue
our
between
combos,
me and Scott, because it is just next level wild stuff. I don't even. It's. I love Kwame. He's amazing.
Thanks, man. It is definitely one of those chat groups that we look at it and say, did we really say that? But it does make my day. But yes, thank you guys, Blazers, for listening to another episode, another Spotlight Edition episode with Anthony Hayes. If you guys have any questions, want to learn more about Blaze Entertainment, definitely go to our website, entertheblaze.com. You can also follow Miss Free at Miss E-Free23 on Twitter, as well as myself at Cyrus11, SYRIS 11, at us, so we know it's real.
Yes, so I know it's real.
Okay. It's been another episode. Fun, cool, awesome. We out.
Bye.